Next video is going to be how to renew current residents. So obviously residents that live here now do have the option to renew their lease. So what we're going to do is show you how to do it on Entrada. Things can get a little bit tricky with renewing residents depending on the lease length, if any information is changing, different things like that could go into renewing residence. But we're just going to pretend like this is a standard renewing. So let's go ahead and go to a resident that we know is not going to be renewing. So if they do have, okay, that's actually a really good example. So if a resident were to not be available to move out, it's going to say passed. Obviously, they don't currently live here, so we cannot renew them. So this is going to be Emma's account, and what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to this little bar. It says more actions. So once we click on that bar, a bunch of options are going to come down right here. So there's two options. You can renew resident or you can create renewal offer. So what I usually do is if we're calling them and following up with current residents to see if they would like to renew, we are going to send them a renewal offer. If the resident is already currently in the office down here ready to go ahead and sign the renewal, so I hope you can tell the difference. One is not currently in the office, so it's not going to be done right that second. That's going to be create renewal offer. If they're in the office and they're ready to go, we're going to do renew resident. So let's go ahead and do create renewal offer. We're going to act like Emma's not here. So these are the options. So right now, this is this current leasing term, as you can see, the 1819 leasing term. And then we have the options for a 5-month lease for next leasing term, which is the 1920, or I guess you could say 1919, but it is the 1920 leasing term. That's the 5-month, the 1920 10-month, and then the annual, which is going to be the full year. So let's go ahead and uncheck these. The rate is the $6.25, so we're going to go ahead and keep that. But if you scroll down, you'd be able to see parking, or this is going to be the premium. She currently has that for this leasing term, which is her 10-month. But since we would be renewing her for next leasing term, we're going to take that off. If we wanted to add parking, we could do that. Let's see, add-ons. Let's do other charges. We'll do monthly. Choose one. Let's see if parking is on here. We would do parking, and then you can actually add the annual, and we would add, let's say she wanted to do $75 parking. So then we could go ahead and create renewal. And then we would email her that offer. So we're going to go ahead and close that because she's not renewing. So we're going to ignore this. Let's go ahead and view renewal. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cancel this renewal because we're not actually going to be renewing Emma. Okay, so if Emma was in the office, what we would do is we would go to Emma Hastings, go here, and just click Renew Resident. That same type of box is going to pop up with this, and we could choose what kind of leasing term we would want, and then, add any of the charges or anything like that, and then we would generate lease. So the difference here is that we're actually generating the lease rather than just going ahead and sending them the offer, which they could either accept or deny. So that would be the difference here, but we're going to go ahead and cancel that. It all does really depend on what a person is wanting. So any different changes that they're going to be making to their lease, all of those are going to be kind of taken into consideration with this. And then also if there's going to be any changes that we can't make on Entrada, that's when we would do a manual lease.